Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another subscriber replay. Once again, we are here with Mac, but this time, instead of being in a light tank, or in a medium tank, basically instead of being in a fast tank, he's at the other end of the spectrum, driving the KV-1. And he's in a tier 5 game, which is nice matchmaking for the KV-1. KV-1, of course, tier 5 Russian heavy tank, as of patch 9.3, one of two tier 5 Russian heavy tanks, the other being the KV-1S. Now, when Max sent me this replay, he made a point of saying that he did get a bit lucky in this game, and having watched it, I agree. He did get rather lucky in various places, but let's not take anything away from this game, because it's still a good game, it's well fought, and I'm more than happy to showcase it. So we're here on El Haluf, patch 9.2 El Haluf, and he's going over to what has become the standard heavy tank slogging spot up amongst these sort of hills and this closer ranged region at A1. There is a medium 3 just before the guy backs off. Mac takes a snapshot, piece of luck number 1, as he manages to finish the guy off for 160 health, which is exactly the average damage roll, I believe, on this gun. Yep, 160 with 120 pen. Now, I would say that it looks like Mac is using something akin to the standard ammo loadout. In my experience, when I played it, you didn't need as much high explosive on this tank as Mac is carrying. And whilst I'm not even sure if I ever fired a shot of it, a few rounds of APCR probably wouldn't go amiss. With APCR, you get 161mm of penetration. It just might come in useful for those tier 7 games. Although, as I say, I don't think I fired a single shot of it, and I still had a good set of stats on my KV-1. So here we go. Team is losing 3 kills to 4. Now there's a KV-1 around this corner. KV-1 has just fired. It looks like their KV-1 is using the howitzer because that was quite a large shell with a low shell velocity. Max just being a little bit cautious here. I would be tempted to side scrape out around this corner. This is a little bit risky, showing this much of your tank. But he does angle it. Although, if the guy's using the howitzer, that may not make a huge amount of difference. And again, that was a snapshot, vaguely aimed at the KV-1's lower plate, and Mac gets a little bit lucky that that shot goes where he wanted it to, despite the fact that he hadn't properly aimed. B1 is going for it, which, fair enough, you know, he's in a heavy tank, so a little bit of aggression isn't a bad idea, but this is the worst matchmaking the B1 sees, and his gun is terrible. Just lost our BDR, G1B, but we've managed to kill their Crusader, so, you know, swings and roundabouts to a certain extent. There's the KV-1, Max coming around here, and he's arguably a little bit exposed. Their artillery nails the friendly B1. That KV-1 misses his shot. Mac gets a little bit lucky again, in that, again, it was another not really aimed shot, but it still went where he wanted it to, and put the KV-1 on one-shot territory. Mac kills the KV-1, but takes what I'm pretty sure was a 122mm high explosive shell to the face for his trouble. Panzer 4 is up there, who bounces. There's also a Churchill 1. That shot misses, but that was artillery. Just repairing his tracks. Now, for some reason, this Churchill has his bum to Mac and isn't turning around. I don't really understand why the Churchill isn't turning around to face the new threat, but he's not. And that shot leaves Mac on very low health indeed. But those two bounce. You'll notice that Mac is angling his armour quite well, basically giving them a lot of side armour to shoot at, but side armour at a very extreme or pretty extreme angle, and, you know, KV-1 has those big old tracks that will also eat a lot of damage. And currently the scoreline is 9 kills to 10 in the enemy team's favour. So, Panzer 4 bounces there. Panzer 4 is either using the 75mm gun, or he's using the 105 and firing armor-piercing ammo. If he's doing the latter, he's a moron. I think he's using the 75mm. Now that Churchill is still showing Mac his bum. I don't really understand why. Mac shoots at the turret anyway, fine. But why does that Churchill not just turn around? You have got good armour at the front, your rear armour is less good. Oh well. Only exposing himself to one tank at a time, Mac puts a shot into that Panzer IV-H. Alas, his allies are dying around him like flies. And he's the last one here. Has another shot at the Churchill. If that Churchill would turn around, well, he'd at least have a better chance than he's currently got. Bounces another shot from the Churchill. I think that Churchill is using the top gun, and the Churchill takes yet another shot through the turret, and you can see here one of the main armour weaknesses of the Churchill. The turret is utter garbage, and he gets himself finished off. This is a very, very nice piece of side scraping on the rock from Mac here. That was a bit unlucky. I guess that makes up for the couple of luckier shots earlier on. But that one goes in, leaving the guy on 16 health. It was a high damage roll, but not quite enough to take the guy out with one shot. And there's some side armour there. Now I'm not quite sure here why Mac goes for the track shot. I'm pretty sure that guy is not angled at a great enough angle to bounce Mac's shot. But all Mac's doing is keeping the guy tracked. If it were me, I'd have... Well, definitely with that second shot, I'd have tried to kill the guy. Mac aims for the commander's hatch and takes him out in the end. But, as I say, while in some situations, you know, that angle could have been too much and the shot could have bounced, it didn't look enough to bounce an 85mm shell. But nonetheless, you know, the point is, the Panzer IV is dead. So, the enemy team has a KV-1 and 2 artillery pieces, and on the friendly team there is Mac and the T-25. And someone is capping, and it's unlikely to be artillery. So this probably means their KV-1 is sitting in the cap. Now this is an encounter game, so that cap is going to take a while to get up. And it looks like their T-25, who is over by their spawn, is moving down to try and do something about the KV-1. There's the artillery now. You could argue that Mac should have loaded high explosive here to try and kill the artillery in one shot. High explosive has an average damage of 280, and that's probably what I would have done. You could also say that, well, you know, armor piercing will go through all this terrain that's in the way and high explosive wouldn't have done. But as it is, Mac was able to use armor piercing, and he got opportunity for 2 shots against the guy anyway, so it didn't really make a difference. But if you aim your shots well, then some high explosive can work wonders against artillery. Now there's an M41 around here. The T-25, alas, was not able to take down the KV-1, and he died for his efforts. So that KV-1 is still alive, which does not bode well for Mac on his 40 health. There's the enemy artillery. Oh, enemy artillery has a shot that completely misses, and Mac just finishes the guy off and secures a top gun, which is very nice. But there is still the problem of the enemy KV-1 in the cap circle to contend with. Now Mac is on 40 health. Assuming the KV-1 is not using the 57mm gun, and that he's using either the 122mm howitzer or the 85mm gun, then loading high explosive would not be a terrible idea. Now, of course, that KV-1 hasn't seen Mac yet. He doesn't necessarily know how much health the guy's on, although the artillery spotted him. But, you know, let's assume that he doesn't currently know how much health Mac's on. Why do I say load high explosive? Well, high explosive doesn't need to penetrate to do any damage, and it's not as if to kill Mac, this guy would need to do a lot of damage. He just needs 40 health. 1, or if he gets very unlucky, 2 reasonable caliber high explosive shells will do the job. Bear that in mind. So Mac hasn't been able to see this guy yet, and he's going to have to do something about the bloody cap. He's not fast enough to flank around from an interesting angle or anything like that. I mean, he's in a KV-1, not a Cromwell anymore, or a T-71. This thing is not renowned for its breathtaking mobility. So that puts him in the cap circle, which means the KV-1 knows where he is, and bazinga, there's the guy. And I guess we'll find out what gun he's using. And at this point, he's had more than enough time, if he wishes to load high explosives. Now this guy may well be a beginner at the game. So, you know, he may not know game mechanics. And if that's the case, that'll turn out to Mac's favour. In fact, he might even be a bot. He's not actually doing anything. He only does something when Mac shoots him. And then he puts a shot into Mac's tracks. Now, I think Mac is getting a little flustered, potentially, because that shot was badly aimed and bounced off the guy's frontal plate. Now, I was, you know, surely the KV-1 will kill him here. No, that bounced. There's another shot into him. Mac angles his armour just in time to bounce that shot. Puts another shot into the KV-1, sets him on fire and kills him. Wait, what? Damn! Well, okay, so, in that final engagement against the KV-1, Mac was lucky that A, either his tracks ate or he bounced every shot that was thrown at him. B, the guy didn't load high explosive. He didn't try and angle his armour against Mac. He didn't even seem to be awake at the beginning. He didn't seem to realise Mac was there. He only came awake when he was shot at, which does make me wonder if he was a bot. I don't know. Or maybe he was just, you know, I don't know, having a drink, and it was the getting shot that made him go, oh god, there's someone nearby. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to take anything away from that. That was a lovely game there from Mac, showing the strengths of the KV-1, despite getting a decided amount of artillery love at one point, taking him down to 40 health. So basically, Mac managed to rack up 5 kills, a boatload of damage, and save this game, all on 40 health. And he probably picks up steel wool into the bargain, I can't quite remember. So very well played. If any of the rest of you have any replays you would like to send me and want me to show, by all means, please send them in, and I will have a look at them. I don't promise to show them, but if they're decent, I will have a look at them. Upload them to whatreplays.com, send me the link, and let me know what equipment you use, what mods you use, and why is that game special? Why do you want me to show it? What did it for you? And the reason could be anything. Maybe it was an entertaining game, maybe there's a funny moment, maybe, like here, you were an utter badass and you carried the game, whatever. So, yeah, upload, send me the link, and I will happily look at it, and if it's half decent, show it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. Subscribe to Replay. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on the battlefield. Ciao, ciao.